All right, this is Math 208, Week 5, 5.1, Section 5.1. We're solving applications. So what does that mean? So the idea is we're basically doing all the same kind of exponents that we were doing, only now they're inside of word problems, and that's not so hard. So using the formula, area is equal to length times width, we're supposed to find the area of this rectangle. Well, of course, it's a bunch of variables and stuff, but we're not going to let that freak us out. So basically, we know we're going to replace the L with the 2x squared times, because that little times sign comes straight down, and then we're going to replace the width with 5x cubed. Now we need to simplify. So what does that mean? Well, this means 2 times x, and then this symbol comes down, that time sign comes down, and then we've got 5 times x times x times x. And if we want, we could use the commutative property to move the numbers next door to each other, and then we're going to move the variables next to each other. So you've got 2 times 5 and times x times x times x times x times x. So what is our answer? Well, that ends up being 10 x to the 5th power. And that is the area of this rectangle. And so that's what you're going to put into your little answer for my math lab. Another thing, exactly the same, only this time we're finding the volume. And the thing about volume is you have to remember that volume is length times width times height. So you're going to multiply the 3 dimensions of your box. And it really doesn't matter which dimension is which as long as you multiply them. So you've got 5x to the 5th, that's this guy right here, times 2x to the 5th, that was this guy right here. And then you have times 4x squared, and that's this guy way over here. So now we've got to simplify this. So how are we going to simplify this? Well, that becomes 5 times x times x times x times x times x. And then this time sign comes down. Now technically, I should put little time signs between all of these, but I'm getting lazy because I'm showing you the shortcuts. And then you've got 2 times x times x times x times x times x. And then here's another time sign. And then you've got 4 times x times x. So there you go. And now we're going to use the commutative property, and we're going to get our whole numbers next to each other. So that becomes 5 times 2 times 4 times. And then I'm going to be lazy. And I'm just going to put all these x's next to each other, but I'm not going to put the time sign because I'm kind of getting tired. So that's going to be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. So I'm going to have to put 12 of them. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. And so what does that equal? Well, this part is 40, because 5 times 2 times 4 is 40. And then we had x raised to the 12th power. And that is our answer. Now, technically, we would have that little time sign there. But my math lab does not need that time sign because we already know whenever you have a number next to a variable, it automatically means multiply. So really the better way to write it, the more official way, is like this: 40x to the 12th power. So this is just more of the same, only this time we're really just going to use a calculator and take these values. We're going to plug them into the formula and get our answer. And it does say round to the nearest cent. So we're going to begin by writing our formula. A is equal to the principal times 1 plus the rate raised to the time, as in N stands for the number of years. And so now we're going to replace. So P is 20,000. How do I know that? Because it says so right here. P is 20,000. Then we're going to have a parenthesis, 1 plus, and then it's going to be 0.13. And how do I know that? Well, because it says take R and replace it with 0.13. So I did. R, 0.13. And then that's raised to the second power because it says n is 2. So we're going to replace the n with 2. And so now we're going to use our calculator. Now what our calculator, if you're going to be using your calculator on this, you can't multiply this yet. You have to do what's inside the parentheses first. So what's inside the parentheses says, okay, so 20,000, and then this is 1.13 raised to the second power. Now again, you're not able to multiply by the 20,000 yet because first you have to do the exponent. So we've got 20,000, and then this piece. That's going to be 1.13 raised to the second power. So 1.13 raised to the second power, you get 1.2769. And now we are finally able to multiply these two things together. So times 20,000, and I get 25538 exactly. And that is technically, it's in dollars right here, dollars, but you don't need to put the dollar sign because they already have the dollar sign. So all you have to do is type in the answer, the numerical stuff.